Hello, world. My name is Stephen Walker, and welcome to A Walker in the Woods. It is December the 6th here. It's a Friday. TGIF, everyone. Made it through another week. This is the last week of final exams at my university. I teach at a university here in South Korea. So, winding down the semester and looking forward to a nice cold winter holiday here. But any holiday is a good holiday as far as I'm concerned. This is the 26th day of my carnivore journey. I've done it for about a year in the past, but only, I would say, 85, 90% carnivore. Now I've been 100% until fairly recently. Added a few little things here and there, so I'm probably shooting at 98%. But overall, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, I only eat twice a day, and I am satiated. I'm very satiated. And so I want to talk about some food and adding in a few different things today, as well as take a look at my metrics. So I'm going to share my PPT and let's go. Instant Pot magic. If you do not own an Instant Pot, I talked about this earlier in an episode, and I 110% recommend it. They are not that expensive, especially if you live in the United States. I live in South Korea. We have to pay for import tax, so it's a bit more expensive. However, it is well worth the investment. So I'm going to take a look at what these things do if you do not have one. Back in the old days, a crock pot is what we kind of use to simmer meats and stews over a long period of time. But the Instant Pot really speeds that whole process up, and you can do a lot of different things with this. And then a little bit later, we'll talk about, or we'll take a look at my fit metrics. I weighed myself this morning, so we'll take a look and see what my numbers are doing. But the Instant Pot, this is a brand of multi-cooker. It's manufactured by Instant Pot Brands. They are electronically controlled. They're combined pressure cookers and slow cookers, so you can do something very quickly or very slowly. The original cooker was marketed as a 6-in-1 appliance designed to consolidate the cooking and preparing of food to one device. And as I said, this thing has many different functions, and depending on what you want to fix, you can go to YouTube University, just type in Instant Pot, and you'll see all kinds of videos of people sharing recipes and showing you how to do it from step A to step Z. The brand later expanded to include non-pressure slow cookers, which can be left on for 8 hours or more. The sous vide, which is, I think, basically cooking slowly in hot water. Immersion circulator, I guess that's one word, sous vide immersion circulator. I don't have that as far as I know on mine. It's not on the button anyways. Again, mine's in Korean, so maybe I missed it. But let's see, blender, I don't have that. Air fryer, no. Rice cooker, yes, you can make rice in it. Air fryer, I don't know about that one. Blender, I think that's just different products that the Instant Pot company makes. So, but you can cook rice in the Instant Pot. If you take a look here at the buttons, this says soup and broth, meat and stew, bean and chili, poultry, rice. There's your rice. I'm not sure what that one says. I can't read it. Porridge, steam, and something up here. There is a slow cook, pressure level, keeping it warm. Yogurt, you can make yogurt. Delaying start, cancel, and then the pressure cook. So really the only buttons I use are the pressure cook And then mine has, I think, saute. So it basically heats up quickly if you want to basically cook the outside of a steak or pork or whatever you're going to be uh, instant potting. And then pressure cook. And then you have up here, this is a little steam release, and the top just slides on counterclockwise to open it and clockwise to close it. And then this little nodule up here, you can turn it to keep the pressure in, or if you want to release steam, you turn it, but you definitely need to be careful because that steam is way, way hot. You will literally burn the skin off of your hand if you have that over the steam release. So be very, very careful with this. Do not do it around young children. The outside does not get hot to touch, but the top most definitely does. So I just Googled on Amazon. I can't remember where we got ours. Probably G Market over here, or Coupang is another one that the Koreans use. Ours was much more expensive than $99.95. So if you now that actually says free delivery to the Republic of Korea. Maybe they've gotten a bit cheaper, but $100 for this is a steal. It's a steal. So I'm going to take a look quickly about this item. Here are some bullet points on what it does. So it has 7-in-1 functionality: pressure cook, slow cook, rice cooker, yogurt maker, steamer, saute pan, and food warmer. Quick one-touch cooking. There's 13 customizable smart programs for pressure cooking ribs, soups, beans, rice, poultry, yogurt, desserts, and more. You can cook fast or slow. Pressure cook delicious one-pot meals up to 70% faster than traditional cooking methods, or slow cook your favorite traditional recipes, just like grandma used to make. Quick and easy cleanup. I can vouch for this. It is very fast and easy to clean it up. Fingerprint resistant stainless steel on the top and around the band here. This is stainless steel sides. It is dishwasher safe with the lid. We don't have a dishwasher, so I can't vouch for that one. The inner pot, there is a stainless steel inner pot that slides in and out. Very easy to clean. And then a few accessories. Basically, we have a rack that goes in, so if you put meat on the rack, it doesn't touch the bottom. Because if you don't have enough water or broth in here in the pot, oftentimes the meat will scorch a little bit, and then the Instant Pot will give you a code that will say it's turning off, so it doesn't overheat or it doesn't burn your food. This is great for growing families. You can cook four, not cook 6 people, but cooking for 1 through 6 people. It's perfect for growing families, meal prepping, batch cooking for singles. It's me and my wife here, so we're cooking for 2. Very versatile inner cooking pot. Again, it's a food grade stainless steel tri-ply bottom. Perfect for sauteing things. As I said, there is a saute button on mine, and so I think that's it down here. This is saute on the bottom left. So yeah, just to basically brown the edges, the outside of a steak before starting to cook it or whatever. But saute, it just heats up very quickly. And then obviously recipes. There are amazing recipes. I don't go to Instant Pot website for them. I just go onto YouTube, type in a certain type of food that I'm wanting, and then Instant Pot and see who's tried it. And generally, I'll come up with a couple different videos, and that is how I learn how to cook. YouTube University, fantastic, and thank you. So last night, I was coming home from my office, and it's about an hour and a half drive. So midway, there's a Russian mart. There's a Russian community in one of these smaller towns between where I work and where I live. So I've been stopping there, and they have an assortment of Russian goodies, anything from some really nice cakes and potato bread that I used to enjoy. I did buy a slice of the Russian cake for my wife, but they also have an assortment of different meats, sausages, yogurts, kefir, a lot of things that Korean stores do not carry. So it's a very nice addition to pop in there maybe once or twice a week. I'm sorry, once or twice a month. I don't go there once or twice a week. They have dried sausage. I'll probably make a small video on the cachet that I pull out of that place, because there are a lot of nice carnivore snacks, but that you can buy there. Cheese, assortment of different cheeses. They actually even have horse meat. I saw horse meat in there yesterday. I did not buy it, but I was almost ready to buy some horse meat. I'm getting there. I'm not quite there yet. But I did buy about I don't know, maybe 30, 32 ounce big old frozen pork steak, a cut of pork with a decent amount of fat on the outside. So I brought that home, and that's what I put in my Instant Pot. And here is after I opened it. So first I sauteed. I put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of the stainless steel pan, and I sauteed it. I cut the pork into chunks, and then I sauteed each and every side in olive oil. And then I poured about 2 to 3 cups of bone broth over the top, and I closed the lid. Also, I put two tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in there, and I closed the lid, and I cooked it for 40 minutes on pressure cook. So when you push the pressure cook, it goes to a certain temperature, and then you can change the time, and 40 minutes. And then I did not open the vent after it finished. I let it cool down for at least 15 to 20, 30 minutes. So holding all that steam in and slowly reducing until there's a little metal pin that will drop when the steam is no longer pressurized. And when the little metal thing drops, it allows you to open the lid and not burn yourself. And so this is about the size of the chunks of the pork, and it turned out absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And lo and behold, I have that exact piece right here. I will show you in a moment. But I ate some of this last night, and the piece that I'm showing on the picture is the exact, I think it's the same one. Yes, it is, that I took a picture of. There you go. So this is pulled pork. So it just falls apart, and you can look and see the good fat in there. I had about 3 big chunks that I basically just used 2 forks to pull it apart. And then I whipped up 4 eggs, sunny side up. And then actually, I did not stick to the 100% carnivore. We do have some kimchi, and this is the first time I had kimchi in 25 days. So I put a bit of kimchi in the hot pan after I pulled the eggs out, warmed that up, and it just gave a little bit of crunch, a little bit of spiciness, a little bit of something that added most definitely to this meal. It was, as my father used to say, scrumptious, absolutely amazing. Day 26, which is today, Friday, I want to take a look at the metrics. So again, I started on the 1st of November. Made it through the 30-day Movember challenge. The last time I weighed myself was the 2nd of December, and today is the 6th. So if we look, I weighed in at 836 on the 6th of December, 2024, and I am maintaining 93.1. So for 4 days, I still weigh in at the exact same that I weighed in before. I'm not gaining, I'm not losing, I am maintaining. Interesting. The BMI also was exactly the same. Interesting. My skeletal muscle mass dropped just by 0.3. The soft lean mass, so here's soft lean. Let's see, 68.2, so I'm down 0.6. Again, we look at these bars, they're all above the average, but some of them, yeah, it's kind of still hanging out above the average or the norm. 1926 kilocalorie is down from 1942 on the basal metabolic rate. 22.6, I went up in the body fat. Maintaining the weight and the BMI. Body fat mass, I went up 0.7. And then my visceral fat has been down at 9 pretty much since the beginning of December. I started at 11 and hung out at 10 for quite a long period of November. Now I'm maintaining 9. And so if we look here, visceral fat, I am in the below the over the bad. Here's this little line here. Pyojun is normal, and that's good. And then my waist hip ratio is 0.98, and I think that's the first time I hit 0.98, which means that I am losing weight in my hips, and that's good. And then the overall fit score actually is 794. I need to change that. Voila, 794. 794 is the fit score, and that is above when I started and down from December the 2nd. And that's about it. I will end with a quote, and this is by Thomas Moore, who was an Irish poet, I believe, lyricist, and I'm thinking of food magic, because this food that I made last night was magic to my tongue. It tasted awesome, and I still have some left. But he says that food is an implement of magic, and only the most cold-hearted rationalist could squeeze the juices of life out of it and make it bland. And that's something that I think a lot of people who hear about the carnivore diet probably comes across their mind as saying, how boring. Isn't that boring? You eat the same thing over and over and over again. Isn't that meat is bland? Meat is anything but bland if you cook it right. And he goes on to say, Thomas Moore, he says, in a true sense, a cookbook is the best source of psychological advice, and the kitchen, the first choice of room for a therapy of the world. I agree with this, the second sentence, in many different ways. The kitchen is the first choice of room for therapy of the world. Number one, cooking, if done right, if you have time, you take the time, spend the time in the kitchen and prepare. It is therapy. It reduces stress, and the repetition of cutting or preparing something, even more so probably before I became carnivore, because I don't spend a lot of time in the kitchen these days, but it is therapy. Putting your fingers in the food. There's a restaurant over here. It's a fast food restaurant called Mom's Touch, and they make basically chicken sandwiches and French fries. But The name of the restaurant is spot on, Mom's Touch. And oftentimes during a food class, if I'm teaching a unit in the book about food and ingredients, I always ask my students, what do you think is the most important thing, not ingredient, but kind of ingredient when it comes to cooking or preparing your own food? And they'll often say salt, sugar, water, spices. And occasionally someone will say love. And love or intention. That's what Mom's Touch is to me. Growing up, the youngest of nine, my mom was a very, very good cook with a lot of very little provisions, honestly, uh, for many of her meals, but she always managed to create a culinary delight for all of her children and her husband. Mom's Touch, intention or love. And so Thomas More, he's spot on that. And so here, this is just one piece of the steak, very thick, of the pork steak. And again, it's a little bit cold because it's been sitting right next to me outside of the Instant Pot. Better the second day, but it just falls right apart. And that was 40 minutes. Finger licking good. Absolutely amazing. Not bland. When it sits in that hot pot, Instant Pot, and then you hit simmer and it or warm up, it warms it up for a few hours again. You leave the fluid, the bone broth in there. Succulent. Absolutely amazing. So I will leave it there. But again, Christmas is coming up. If you want to buy a very useful gift for someone in your life or for yourself, $100 to your door. And then in 40 minutes, you can be munching on something like that as a snack or for a meal. If you eat bread, if you go barbecue, that's just absolutely amazing. Until next time, everyone, happy holidays and ciao for now.